All right, so the first one, all we're doing is what?
Multiplying.
Yeah, we're distributing, right? We're using the distributive property, okay? So we've got this monomial out front, one term, and we're multiplying it by the binomial inside, which is two terms. Did I copy this right? Okay, so all I'm doing is taking, 7 times what's in front of there? 1. What do I do with the exponents? Just add the exponents. So it's 1 plus 3 and 1 plus 4 for the exponents. And then I multiply or distribute there. 7 times 2. So we multiply the coefficients. And again, add the exponents. 1 plus 1 and 1 plus 3. Okay? Now, like I told you, I think I told you this when I passed it out to you yesterday. This isn't multiple choice, but your exam is all multiple choice. Okay? So, just so you know. So some of the things you might be able to, use maybe guess and check, since you got 4 choices, right? See if you can figure it out. All right, number 2 is, again, another multiplication problem. Any questions? But I got a binomial this time, times a trinomial. Okay, so I'm going to take the 5x times x cubed, which is 5x to the 4th, and 5x times negative 5x is negative, not 10, 25, right? X squared, and 5 times 2, 5x times 2 is 10x. Then we go negative 3 times x cubed, and negative 3 times negative 5x is a positive 15x. So I'm going to put it under the 10 because they're like terms. And negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6. So all I have is one pair or set of like terms there. But we got to combine like terms now. Now we do the addition. Okay. Now I like to put it in order from highest degree, which means highest exponent, right, down to lowest. So I'm going to put negative 3x cubed next, and then the negative 25x squared, and the 25x, because those are like terms, and then minus 6. Those 2 problems you could have done first day of school here, couldn't you? That's just algebra 1 stuff, right? Any questions? All right, number 3. It said to do synthetic division, right? And what was x plus 4 we're divided by. So remember, synthetic division was that shortcut. We had done long division too, but I just put synthetic on the exam. What goes in this little corner box? Negative 4. Okay, that's where we'll make a mistake. So remember, it's whatever you put in for x to make it equal to 0, right? So I need a -4 for that to work. Okay? And then I put in the coefficients of our terms. So I got a 2 for the x squared and a -12 for the x and +9. Okay, so that's what I write. And then I make a line, giving yourselves a little room, because you're going to put a number under -12 and 9. And you're dropping down the 2, the first one, underneath the line. You guys remembering this? Now, what do I do with the -4 and the 2? Multiply them, yes. So -4 times 2 is -8. And then what do I do with those two numbers? You add, okay? So the two numbers that you get, you're going to add to get the one underneath. So what's a -12 and a -8? -20. When I start over, what's a -4 times a -20? 80. And then I go 9 plus 80. Okay? So remember, this started out as 2x squared. So in our answer, what goes next to the 2? X. 1 less. Okay? So this would be an x here. What's the 89? Yeah, that's the remainder, right? So my answer would be 2x minus 20 plus 89 over x plus 4. That last number is my remainder. Okay, and then if we made mistakes, we didn't add, we subtracted, or we forgot that if it was x squared to start with, we didn't subtract 1 from our exponent. That's usually what's the mistake we made. Good on number 3. Number 4, they call it synthetic substitution. It's using synthetic division, but it says at the end, for x equals 4, right? So for that one, you put 4 in. Whatever x equals, that's what you put in. And you can go. All right? So for number 4, it tells you what to put there. For number 3, you got to put basically the opposite, okay? And again, we just use the coefficients. So for the x cubed, I have a 1. For the x squared, -4. For the x, a 3. And then -9. Don't forget the signs. Minus signs are like negative signs when you put it in synthetic. All right, so we drop the 1. Then we just repeat the process. So 4 times 1 is 4. And remember, we're going to add each time. -4 plus 4 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 3 plus 0 is 3. And then 4 times 3 is 12. -9 plus 12 is 3. Now, it says use synthetic substitution to evaluate the polynomial. So you don't have to write the answer like you do for number 3. What's the answer? It's that last number, yeah. It's the remainder. So the answer to this would be 3. That's all we're looking for there. Questions? So far, pretty easy, right? Okay. Number 5, we have to factor. Okay. So it's got 4 terms. So when it's got 4 terms, first of all, we always look for what when we factor? GCF. Is there a number that goes into all 4 terms, or a letter? If there was a 2, 4, 6, if there was an even number in front, then we would use 2, right? But since that's a 1 in front, there's really no GCF. So when it's got 4 terms, we call it a grouping problem. So maybe, on your note card, number 5, grouping, write grouping. When we group first 2, and the back 2. We just put a plus sign between them. And then we look for GCFs. So what's the GCF of the first group?
X squared.
X squared, yes. Second group, I'll finish the first group in a minute, but second group, if that's a minus in front of that third term, we always pull that minus sign out. And what goes into both of those? Yeah, 16. Okay, so the GCF is x squared, so I divide both of these by the GCF. What's x cubed divided by x squared? X. And what's 6x squared divided by x squared? 6, right? What's negative 16x divided by negative 16? Thanks. What's negative 96 divided by negative 16? 6. So the purple ones are the same, right? Is that what we want to happen? Yes. Okay. That's what should happen. Okay. All right. If it doesn't happen, check your work because it's supposed to happen. Okay. It's going to work on the exam. So check your work. So my answer would be the purple as one factor and the black is the other factor. But the black's not finished. Why? Yeah, that's a difference of squares. So the purple won't change. The black one, we can factor into 2 binomials. And we're just taking square roots. Square root of x squared. Square root of 16. One's plus, one's minus. Okay? So that's what's going to happen on exam 2. You're going to have to group it. It's going to work, and then you're probably going to get a difference of squares. I just changed the numbers, but that's what's going to happen. Okay? Questions? All right. Not too bad, is it? Hopefully we're remembering some of this. All right, so we have a function for number 6. And we're looking for the inverse, right? We're looking for this answer. Okay, anybody remember what we did? We thought about it like this. F of x is just like y equals, right? So what did we do to figure out the inverse? We did what? No. Flip the x and y first, remember? We rewrite it as x equals y divided by 4 minus 4. So we switch the x and y, and then we solve for y. So to get y by itself, what do I have to do first? Add the 4. I want to do that first. So that would just be x plus 4. Now what do we do, Danny? Now we'll multiply by 4. Okay? So move that 4 over. And it's like that. So you can leave it like this if you want. Or you could distribute, make it 4x plus 16. And actually, it would be, if we're getting technical, we would write it f inverse of x equals instead of y, but that's okay. I think all it puts down for your choices is, you know, what it's supposed to be, I think. Okay? So, not too tough, is it? Simple, right? All right. That was from, I think, chapter 6 or 8. I forget. I was going to write down all the chapters, but I believe this is chapter 7 stuff next. Logarithms. Okay. So put this stuff right here on your note card. All right. So b to the x power equals a is exponential form. B is representing the base, x is our exponent, and a is our number, right? And then if we want to write that as a logarithm, in logarithmic form, we would write log base what? What's my base over here? B of the number a equals the exponent x. Okay? That's the first thing we learned when we started talking about these logarithms. Okay? So, for number 7, our base is 7, our exponent is 3, and our number, what that equals, is 343. That's a true statement. You know, if you put that in your calculator, that's what you get. You're supposed to rewrite it in logarithmic form. So it's log base 7 of the number equals the exponent. That's what logs are, they're exponents. So that's what we're looking for number 7. That's logarithmic form. Okay? The other, number 8, we're going the other way. We're giving it to you in logarithmic form. You have to write it in exponential form. So it's log base 10, but what if 10 wasn't there? We would still know that it's what? 10, right? That's called the common log. That's the one in your calculator, the log button. That's the base 10 one. Of 10 equals 1. So the base is 10. The exponent is 1 equals the number, which was also 10. And that's a true statement, right? 10 to the first is 10. You guys knew that, right? So 7 and 8 is just going from one form to the other. You guys were good at this when we actually did it. It's been a while, right? Okay. Now, number 9 says use mental math. You're not going to have to use mental math. All right, so this is log base 5 of 0.2. We're going to use what we learned after we did all this mental math stuff. Okay, we use what we call the change of base formula. So write this. Okay. take the log of the number and divide it by the log of the base. The base stays where? In the basement. Remember that? Or in the bottom. The base stays in the basement or the bottom. All right? So any log problem, you can use that change of base formula where you're taking and you're just using your log button, your base 10 log button on your calculator, putting it in your calculator. All right? You don't have to do it mentally like I showed you when we first started. Let's just use our calculator. So we go log 0.2. Now remember, when you get log, it starts with that parenthesis, so close it up. If you don't close it up, it'll give you the wrong answer. And then log of 5, close it up. So that would be -1. So that would be one of your choices because it's multiple choice. Okay, so when we have an addition problem of logs, and we want to write it as a single log, okay? What do we do if it's addition? Log base 5 of 2500 plus log base 5 of 6.25. What can we do with those two since it was addition? Right, multiply. Just keep the base the same and multiply those. So 2,500 times 6.25. We get 15,625. Okay, so that's the single log. It says simplify if possible. What we just did a problem in 9, just like this, right? So to simplify it, use that change of base formula. Put in your calculator log of the number 15,625 divided by log of the base in the basement. Okay, Reynolds? You're not going to remember unless you write it down how to do it. All right? So, log button right there. 15,625. Close it up. Log 5, close it up. Oops, what did I forget? Divided by log 5. Answer would be 6. So that would be one of your choices on your exam. Remember, it's multiple choice. Okay? So when it's addition, you have to multiply the two numbers to rewrite it as a single log and then do your change of base formula. If it's subtraction, like number 11, what do we do with them? We divide them. Good. Okay, so this is subtraction. So that equals log base 3, 243 divided by 3, which I believe is 1, or 81. Okay. Okay, and then do your change of base again to simplify. So log of what? Divided by log of what? Yeah, log of 81 divided by log of 3, which is 4. 1, close it up. Log of 3, close it up. What I keep forgetting? Dividing, getting in a hurry. Alright. What that means is 3 to the 4th is 81. Right? Number 12. When you have an exponent in your log, the negative 1's our exponent. It says express as a product. What can you do with that exponent? You take it to the front and multiply. So that equals negative 1 times the log base 3 of 9. Which means I change a base, negative 1 times log of 9 over log of 3, which equals negative 2. Watch. All right, log 9, close it up, divided by log 3, close it up, and times negative 1. Okay? Questions? Yes, sir. It's all right if you ask them. You're not going to like it. What do you got to do, go to the bathroom again?
No. Since I passed all the other 9 weeks, what happens if I fail this exam? I'll be fine, right?
Well, it'll just drop your final grade down. Yeah.
Right.
But you failed the 9 weeks, right? So the double after will come for you, right? Oh, you didn't fail the 9?
No.
But with my math genius, I could make it look like you failed, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, okay. Just check. 13, it says simplify it, meaning find the answer, which, what are we going to do? How are we going to simplify this? Calculator, right? What am I going to put in? Log of 125 divided by log of 5, which is 3, I believe. Let's see. Log 125, close it up, divided by log of 5. Yeah. Okay. Number 14. 2 to go. We're, again, simplify, evaluate, same thing. Log base 36 of 216. So what am I going to do to evaluate it? Same as we did in the last problem, right? Log of 216 divided by log of 6, or 36. So log 216, close it up, log, divided by log 36. 1.5. So, is those questions from 7 to 14 really that difficult? No, not really. I don't think. You should do well on these first 14. Okay? All right, we're almost halfway. There's 40 questions. All right. This, number 15, we have to solve this equation. All right, so we have 5 to the x plus 6 power equals 125 to the x power. Okay? So what we did on these is we turned them into log problems. Okay? So I just take the log of both sides. And what was the rule we just did with this -1? When it's a log, you can put it out front and multiply, right? So that's what we're going to do with those two exponents in this problem. We're going to take that x plus 6, all right, and multiply it by the log of 5, and this x, and multiply it by the log of 125. That's how we start those. We move the exponents out front. Okay? Now, what do I do with that log of 5 if I'm going to try to solve this? I need to move it to this side, right? So divide both sides by the log of 5. Okay? So what happens to the two log 5s on the left? They cancel. So the left is x plus 6. And then we just did that problem. What was that? Log of 125 over 5? 3, right? We just did it. So that becomes 3 times x. Okay? Right, John?
Yeah.
So now what do I do? What's the next step? Just subtract x and get the x's together. Basic algebra 1 now, right? And divide by 2. So what's our answer? 3. Okay?
Oh, wait, okay.
So, tonight, which numbers do you have to do?
16 to 30.
Numbers 16 to 30. All right? What kind of grade is it? Summative, right? So you get 5 out of 5 summative grades on these, right? You did them all, right, Scott?
Oh, yeah, I didn't have it. It said like 5 out of 5.
Yeah, that's what mine said too.
Yeah. How did that happen?
They all said 5
I
out
thought
of 5.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate